Hi guys, we are here, episode number 3. And if you know me, you know 3 is my lucky number. And I have here Victor Maya, my lucky guy.
Thanks for having me, Juliana.
My pleasure. It's just incredible how so many serendipities happening in our lives. And
actually the energy is so good that makes like time, it's like non-existing.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. You're here from Brazil.
My pleasure. Yeah.
It happens that you happen to be here and you're going to be doing great work with us.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yes. We're going to dive in today talking about social media.
Yeah.
Business and what you do and what you could do for people watching as well, right?
Sure.
So how about you tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and the way we met. Tell the whole story.
Actually, I think that I need to go back a few years to tell people about the situation where we met. Actually, back in 2017, I had an agency back in Brazil. I've been working with clients, mostly regional and some national in Brazil, helping them mostly with graphic design, social media, email marketing, helping mostly e-commerce to establish their presence in the internet. Back then, Instagram was like growing a lot. And people was trying to understand how to navigate those waters, mostly in Brazil. I know that here in the U.S., people are very aware of how to use it, and some small business were already diving into it. But I recall that was like the weekend of the carnival in Brazil, and I was like just soaked with work, and was like a Friday night. All of my friends were already traveling to have fun during the days of Carnival. I don't know if people are aware, but people in Brazil, we have a holiday called Carnival that people just spend 4 days away drinking and partying. And I was like with so much work to do that I was like, oh no, I'm going to take this Friday night off. I'm going to watch a movie, and then I opened up my Facebook. It wasn't even Instagram yet. I opened up my Facebook that I had like the bell sign from Gary, and I saw a post from him in Portuguese, and since I was the first that had the notification on, I just comment, oh, now GaryVee is in Portuguese. There's no reason for any Brazilian to not follow what he's teaching. And I comment that in Portuguese. And right below, I comment again, if you guys need any help to expand the brand in Brazil, I have plenty of experience translating content, because I already been doing for Neil Patel, the other marketing guru. And I helped a lot of people to do that. And then a few hours later, Sid from Gary's team has reached out, and everything is history then. I worked with him from 2017 to 2021, helping him establish his Brazilian presence, Portuguese presence. We helped him spread the word for Brazil, Angola, Portugal, Mozambique, and some other countries that are Portuguese speaking, but mainly Brazil. And back in 2019, he visited Brazil twice, and then I followed him with my phone, making content. And I got to know D-Rock, him, and some other amazing people from VaynerMedia. Was a great time. And mostly, besides that like it's the good part of the history, because in 2015, when I was with the agency, Brazil had a little economic downturns, and I almost got bankrupt with the agency. And then I recall that I was watching Jab, 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 Right Hook when Gary was launching Jab, 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 Right Hook. I was watching Ask GaryVee show, and then I just bought the book, paid the taxes and the fees for import products for Brazil, And then I just devoured the book like in one day. Wow. And then after that, everything has changed. I just took responsibility for myself, and then to fix the bankruptcy thing. It's not actually a bankruptcy thing. It was that economic downturn. Yeah. And then I got a second job. I worked in the store selling clothes, and then I improved my sales experience, you know. And then I used all of my self-awareness to understand that was all my responsibility, to take that and change it. And then,
so that was before you contacted Gary. So it was 2015 when you first found out about him. And then in 2017, 2 years later,
I started working with him.
Wow. Talk about manifesting things in your life.
That's a thing that is curious. I talk about that a lot with my wife, that I was more of a skeptical guy back then. And since I had the burnout, because this specific stage of my life from 2015 to 2020, I had like a lot of bumps in the road. I was not as linear as I'm right now. I was 100 pounds heavier.
100 pounds heavier?
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, things were not as good as are right now. I was kind of depressed, a lot of very anxious, a lot of anxiety, and I had a burnout after that because I worked so much during 2017 to 2019. I had the company, I sold the company, and then I worked with Gary, and then I worked in a nonprofit organization in Brazil that helps to train businessmen and entrepreneurs with business tools and business assets to improve their business awareness towards especially the values that makes a prosperous society, from like self-awareness and free market and things like that. So I was working so much that was kind of out of my body experience when I had the feeling. Someone called me, and I just heard his voice like, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't understand him. And I said, wait, I can't understand it. But the person was so mad with me because I did something wrong that he repeated, and I couldn't understand again. And then I just turned off the telephone. I sat down in the decompression zone in the company that I worked there after I sold the agency, and I was looking up and was like, what I am doing with my life, and and then that was November of 2019. December of 2019, my contract after this, I sold the agency, was over, and then I started to, what's the next step? And then I took a little time off with my mom and my sister. We have a trip here to the US. We went to Disney. And even when I was in the most happier place, I wasn't happier enough to enjoy. So I understand that was something wrong. And then from 2020 beyond, I start to reset things and start to balance out. I know that I need to hustle sometimes, but sometimes I need to be more present as well. So I try to be as much as I can be aware and present from now, because, for example, I'm here for traveling. I'm on a trip, on a vacation with my family, but you invited me to an opportunity of like doing business and have this conversation, and I know that is like, that's work, but my brain right now is not taking that as a work hour, because I understood that actually the burnout came because I was trying to do something that I wasn't enjoying a lot, So I'm always trying to do where my heart and my brain sits calmly. And that came for choosing clients, choosing partners, choosing how to work. And my wife helped me a lot with that process.
Yeah. You think you were keeping scores too much?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Gary says something about keeping up with the Joneses. You know? I had this, probably people here in America has this comparison. In Brazil, we have as well. But in Brazil, we have comparison towards how much you earn, what car you drive, where you live, how many trips you do in a year. And people are never satisfied with what they have.
Yeah.
It became something all about materialistic goals. When I discovered that actually what made me happy was know that I was in the process of building the life that I really want to live. Like being present with the ones during the time when they need to be. And I know money comes and goes. Not always, we spoke about that. Not always the thing is like in the best shape, but money is energy. I think money is a tool. It needs to enable what we seek for our future, And since then, I'm trying to use my knowledge of business, of marketing, to improve digital presence of businesses all around the globe. So from 2020 to 2024, we already helped a lot of business all around the world, in all 5 continents. Besides you, we have some clients in Singapore, we have some clients in Canada, we have clients in Europe. So we had clients in South Africa, but not anymore, but Australia as well. So I saw a opportunity that most of Brazilians weren't looking at, because we have this necessity of you need to speak English, but most of the times when you are selected for a spot at a job, most of the times you are not speaking English, you're speaking Portuguese. Usually during once or twice in your lifetime, you do like an international trip to a client or something like that, because it's a multinational company, a huge company. But not where I'm from. I'm not like from São Paulo. São Paulo, there's a lot of companies that do that. And then since I understood that I had like a good level of English, and I had the opportunity of starting out translating content from people to help them enable all of other audiences around the globe. And I understood that actually human behavior did not change. You have the cultural nuances, of course, but people is still people. The decision-making process is kind of the same for everybody. So I use that to help companies to scale, to do their products, their businesses through digital assets, and to, of course, doing my own, besides my work as a consultant on graphic design and marketing things. I also work I'm partnered with 2 other companies. I have a Jiu-Jitsu gi company where I have a partner in Brazil that is from my gym, and I have 2 partners from Rio de Janeiro that we started out on a streetwear clothing brand called MoMA, just like the museum.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And you do Jiu-Jitsu for a while, right?
Yeah.
What, your black belt?
Yeah. I just grabbed my black belt in December. Right. Yeah.
Congratulations.
You.
So you've been doing for even when you were heavier, you're still doing Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, actually, that period was when I was away. I spent like 4 or 5 years outside of Jiu-Jitsu, and that's why I gained so much weight and my anxiety was so high. I think martial arts and physical exercise actually helps us a lot to like improve ourselves, to find balance, Yesterday I went to Hansel Gracie in Manhattan, and I went there in 2023, and then again, and I remat some people that that I was able to know back in 2023, and it's so good because during the time I'm in the mats, I'm not thinking about like I have bills to pay. I have like you forget about problems, because there is no way for you to think about problems when someone is trying to choking you out. So
it's a good meditation. You're in the zone, right?
Yeah,
you're in the zone.
I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
And that helped me to like rebalance my chakras,
Shout out to the Grace Gym, Grace people in New York, right?
New York, there's New York, here in New Jersey. I know that it's in Texas and Austin and a lot of other places in America.
Great. And Jiu-Jitsu started with the Grace family, right?
Yeah.
They used to do judo before?
No, actually, they learned Jiu-Jitsu from a judo black belt from Japan that landed in Brazil back in the 19th century. And then they improved the techniques because they do much more the groundwork for people that has less strength and they are smaller to be able to submit someone who's actually stronger and bigger. So Jiu-Jitsu, it's called the easy way, the like in Portuguese we call it the smooth art, suave, because you do not see from where actually the thing is happening, because when they improved, they mixed up with like wrestling, judo, capoeira, and some other things that made Jiu-Jitsu like a big mix and being so efficient as it is right now.
See. You get an art and improve, just like in music, right? They do the samplings, they can make it better.
And as martial arts, I like to say that Jiu-Jitsu, it's like organical. Like I know something, you might know something, and then you develop something different because you have a way to see things that sometimes I'm not able to do.
Yeah.
And then you just develop a new technique. And if you take that as a essence for looking out for life itself, you understand that actually what you see as a problem is actually just a point of view.
Yeah, you can use martial arts for life, business, relationships, everything.
And I really, really like to use that metaphor because in Jiu-Jitsu, we have two dominant positions when people are in the mount position or in the back take. And sometimes I like to use that metaphor. Sometimes life is just the heavier opponent that is sitting on your chest, almost choking you out, and you are struggling, and you think, I'm going to tap out. Life's too difficult. But then you hear someone out from the arena just calling you like, don't give up, give your all, and things like that. And then it's like a strength from out of nowhere comes, and then you can just turn around the situation. And I know that sometimes people can have it messed up with like stubbornness, but I think that when we are persistent, when we know that we are in the right path, it can take like a lifetime, but the right path is the right path.
Yeah, it's always the right path, and it's like motivation, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's so important for us to be out there speaking the truth and repeating all the time the same things over and over, because that's how we have been doing for centuries, and it still takes time, more than a lifetime.
And I like to see things for the spirituality point of view, that we are actually transitioning in this existence. Our spirit might learn a lot, and actually you're just in this planet actually to learn and to improve yourself, your being, your spiritual being. Our body is like a vessel. We need to take good care of it, but this is actually what makes us better human beings. And sometimes when you seek to see things like, why this is happening to me, it could be karma, but it could be like a bad decision-making process. It could be something like you missed out, or I have this problem. I'm very closed up. Like, I like to dig in my zone. And a couple of weeks ago, me and my wife had a bad discussion about money and how to treat money. And she said, you are keeping too much for yourself. We are a team now. And things just happen because I have this thing of, but I wasn't like keeping for me on like, I will not tell her because, no, actually I was trying to ease her from like any headaches on things that maybe will take her from her center, you know, since I think it's my responsibility to make enough money to provide for a family. So I have that questioning sometimes, but you know,
because when you work together with your spouse, it's complicated. You don't just have the relationship problems; you have like the business as well. And that's why some people like to keep separate.
Church and state.
Church and state. I think it's cool if you have two partners that understand and want to work together towards a goal and a purpose. I think it could totally work.
Yeah. Especially with, it's a never-ending learning stage. So if you are open to always be prepared to, I might not be right this time. Let's see what the other person has to talk about, and if you'll be willing to understand that and accept, you'll probably be having a very enjoyable, fruitful future.
Ride.
Yeah.
A nice ride. Yeah, it's about perspectives, like you say. It's a point of view and humility as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think that humility is something that it's very underrated.
Yeah, and patience.
Patience is like comes together, you know. I'm anxious. I am an anxious person, and sometimes I just like see some friends doing good, especially because of social media, you know. And we are talking about social media development, and as a marketer, I know that we just show what we want other people to know about us. And sometimes I see people in social media, friends, and, he's traveling to Europe. He's purchasing a new car or buying a new apartment. And sometimes, because we do not see the background history that's actually happening, might get mistaken. Like, we see the winning, but we do not see the struggle. We are not seeing if that person is actually in debt or paying a lot of interest in their home financing, or maybe has like a bad relationship with his family, like his mom and his father and things like that. We might not know what happens in the background. And we always see what the other person wants to show us. And that is the magic of marketing, because for social media gives us the empowerment to tell our history as we want to be told to the world. Painted. Yeah.
The way we would like to do it. But I think that's why it's important. And it's a word in fashion now about authenticity and being original. But it's still very hard, even though everybody's talking about that. I think you gain a lot of power once you put yourself out there and be vulnerable and show your flaws as well. You know? And I had a problem when we first started the podcast in Portuguese. Not because I was trying to be somebody else. I was just naive, and I had a manager that was telling me kind of what to do, and then I was following, and I was like losing myself a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
And people, luckily, I had, people that came to me and say, "What are you doing?" And I had to be humble enough to say, "Yeah, this is stupid," and just like to readjust and keep going, and showing people that we have flaws and we make mistakes, and we just have to keep going no matter what.
I'm a millennial. I'm 37. So I love 8 Mile, the Eminem movie. And the end scene is just like a full class of that you said. Like when Eminem got the microphone and started saying bad things about him and didn't left anything else for the other guy to talk about, he ain't got no weapons.
Yeah.
Because when you show that, okay, I might not be the better English speaking person, I might not be the better I don't know, Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, I might not be the better businessman, I might not be the most creative marketer, but well, I'm trying.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that I already have my flaws, and if you're willing to keep up with that, well, we are together. If not,
yeah. And I think you started changing. I saw, you know, we connected in 2020, and then I was with the COVID and all of the stuff that was happening. I got so focused, and I had a couple kids later and everything. But I watched you, and I saw your transformation, and I think that it's because you accepted where you were, and you realized you had the awareness to know, and not to be so hard on yourself. You're kind on yourself to know that you were early in the process.
Yeah.
That's what you said. That's very important.
Yeah.
Because people want to be where they are not yet, because the mind is there, but you're not there yet. So it's like putting together that timeline that you say.
Actually, that is interesting, because I recall that the exactly thing I told my therapist when I had the burnout. I was with, back in 2020, I was with 32 to 33, and I just had this click that I said, when I'm be 40, I want to be in a whole different space, and I'm 33. I'm not seeing that happening anytime soon. And my therapist just said, you might be having a confusion there, because if you take a broader look, you're already successful. Yeah. You know, you might not having a lot of money, but success is not about money. Yeah. Success is about, do you have good relationships? Do you have people who actually enjoy and be with you? You have someone to go back to your, to when you're going back to your house at the end of the day. You have things you enjoy do. So you're successful.
Yeah, and most importantly, do you enjoy being with yourself?
Yeah,
like loving yourself, which is hard.
Yeah, and I just rediscovered that by doing, you know.
Yeah,
and that's the most important thing.
So what would you say to people that might be watching now, and they're going through where you were a couple years ago? What would you like reiterate about going through this process of burnout, or what do you think is important? Don't try to fight.
Accept it, and seek things that makes you fulfilled. When I was in my darkest hours, what I eager to go back was, I need to go back to Jiu-Jitsu. I need to go back to sketchboard to do. I do not even do any illustration anymore professionally, but that was things that put me in my zone.
Things that bring you joy.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I kind of picked this name for the podcast too, Groove and Joy, because if you are doing things that brings you joy, it kind of keeps you in the groove.
Yeah,
you know?
And life becomes easier. We have some notion, a strange notion that things needs to be hard. I know some things will not like be as easy as we thought it would be, but life cannot be that harsh. You can accept that actually life can be very good and very well lived, not being like eating bricks.
Especially here in this part of the world.
Yeah,
we shouldn't take for granted.
Yeah.
Working out at the gym, there are some machines that you can see. You know, you have to exhale when you're, going up, and inhaling when you're doing the heavy works, like when you like get it. And I think that's what it is understanding where you are, and just, understanding that it's time to brace yourself.
Yeah.
And then when you get another, spree of like motivation and energy. You just like keep going.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I love physical exercise just because of that. Sometimes you can just find the beautiful metaphor about things on exercise, and I recall like back in 2020 I was very on to calisthenics. I was trying to lose a lot of weight, and I discovered calisthenics. There's a guy in Miami called Chris Harrier. He's like one of the biggest influencers on the segment, and I saw him like doing a handstand or a front lever, and I was like, whoa, that's very hard. I'm not being able to do that. And the hard part is actually to accept that you need to start as a beginner, not knowing what to do, and then you see the final result from somebody else, and you say, oh, I need to walk a lot until I get there. And it's been 5 years now, and I recall today I was doing handstands in the gym in the hotel, and I'm a guy with 97 kilos, almost 140 pounds, something like that, and I was doing handstands, and I was like, wow, 4 years ago I could have never even dream about doing that, actually, to be balanced in my own hands and upside down. And I know there are a lot of people that think it cannot be possible to do that, especially like I'm over 30, like
You're still so young.
yeah. Life's just beginning.
Yeah. That's what my mom said. My mom said, it's funny because right before we started the podcast, she said that. She said, Juliana, your life is about to start now, last year, she said. And like you, I went through a process. I was heavier. I was not eating healthy. I was just like, I can see the first episodes. I was like, wow, I'm kind of, not all there, because your body shows where your mind is. Yeah. Right. And for me, it's like, I don't diet. I never diet. I just follow my intuition. I trying to eat healthy and keep my body moving. So your mind keeps fresh as well. Yeah. But that's why I think it's so important bringing the drink that we're going to be drinking and bringing to the US.
Yeah.
Because it's, I was talking to our partners in Brazil about being like 100% organic and 100%, like all natural and stuff. And we will not reach as many people as we will with the in-between kind of stuff, because I think that we are marketing for people this energy tonic for people that want to do the transition and it's not there yet of 100% this organic. So I think we can bring more people to join this culture of, wellness and health and redefined energy. So
actually, you were talking with a lover of acai. I love acai. I try to have it at least once a week when I'm in Brazil.
I'm so jealous. You're in Brazil having acai from the source. And
something that got my attention was I was walking around Soho yesterday, and I saw an oakberry. And I said, wow, oakberry store in the middle of Manhattan. So, acai is something happening here in the U.S. And I just recall that Julian is just right timing,
Just happened. I don't know. It's like serendipity.
Yeah. And then I think that acai at first, when you take a look, especially when it's not like the juice, bottled juice, when you take it like in Brazil,
the pulp,
in the poke, in the bowl. So you looked at and it seems like a strange thing, like granular and things like that, but it's actually tasty. And then you do with like bananas and
and honey,
and
granola.
So good.
It's better than wine almost. Because think about wine.
Yeah, and actually, do you know that the acai berry and the grape that was taking the wine, it's kind of the same family of fruits.
But it's like a new kind of, well, it's not new, but we are bringing into the market something innovative.
Yeah.
I think. And the energy that the acai brings is no comparison to coffee because it's a clean energy.
Yeah.
You really, if you're in tune with your body, you can really feel in your brain, and it's good for the heart as well. So I think we are bringing something of value, and it's so delicious.
Acai has a lot of antioxidants, so it's good for your health overall, especially because both in the U.S. and Brazil, we eat a lot of industrialized food. So in Brazil, we have some natural food, but we have like butter and other things that not so good for your health.
Bad oils.
Yeah,
so,
and acai helps to prevent health problems that actually comes from that that consumption.
Yeah, I think that we are trying to bring awareness for other options rather. And remember in Brazil when we start drinking, like, I'm not going to say the names, but like the energy drinks, the most famous ones.
Yeah.
Used to be when we used to go out partying, like in a club, and we used to mix with whiskey.
Whiskey, vodka, and people. And right now, the new generation could not even drink alcohol anymore.
No, but now they're drinking for coffee in the morning, for breakfast.
Yeah.
The energy drink.
Yeah.
We would never think about doing this in the morning.
In the morning? No.
And now they're just drinking because it's easier than coffee, and they're just like drinking all day long, and it's like, it's not good for you.
It's too many. It's too high on caffeine. Too many stimulants. I read that a couple of days ago that a girl in Brazil, I'm not sure if in Brazil, but a girl just died because of the high caffeine consumption.
Too much all the time. They hydrate too as well.
Yeah. She got like the heart problem, arrhythmia, and just died.
Yeah, it's not good to run on.
No. So acai being a fruit that is a natural stimulant, I always like to have acai before like a hard training session in Jiu-Jitsu, like an hour and a half. I like to have a cup of acai because it makes me more, not also energized, but stronger because it's high on carbs and helps us having more energy. And it do not usually, I know that you will do that. Acai in Brazil is not added in sugar, so you do not have the problem with like industrialized things that cause diabetes and things like that. Yeah,
and our drink is going to be mixed with guaraná. And even in Brazil, this is pretty new, but it's pretty good health-wise as well. It's cupuaçu and buriti. Yeah. How are the public in Brazil like taking that?
Cupuaçu is very
popular now.
It's very popular now, especially for beauty products.
Oh yeah. There's that British brand Bodyworks that used to do cupuaçu a lot for their products as well.
In Brazil, there's a brand called Avatim that does a lot for like body scrubs and things like that, using cupuaçu. Yeah.
And buriti.
Buriti is the first time I heard of.
Really? Yeah. Because our partner suggested that he's been doing development of his brand for 12 years already. So they want to bring for kids as well. Like the box.
Good. Yeah.
The juice box for kids. So.
Imagine if you could put your 3.0 drink.
3.0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And you put it like on a McDonald's.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's start thinking about that.
Let's keep it
let it sink in. Maybe Burger King, Brazilians.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, especially because there's a movement. I don't know if here in the U.S. has been this shift, but in Brazil there's a lot of shifting towards a more functional and healthy dieting, especially in fast food. So they are noticing that the younger generation are not more keen to have like drinking and partying until late and things like that. So they are very, very aware to like wake up early, do a run, do swimming.
That's good.
Yeah, in Brazil, the new generation is very aware of that. on taking care of yourself, doing like meditation, going to the church and things like that. So the brands are now trying to reposition themselves. So not a couple of years ago, I think like a decade ago, McDonald's switched off a specific option in the box for kids to have like apples and juice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's industrialized juice. It could be a natural apple, but I don't know exactly.
No, definitely is a soda alternative way better than having, you know, this also energy drinks that are like so full of, even the ones that are being marketed as to be more natural, and you see the design and it looks so good, but when you read the label, it's like really not good.
Yeah, you have a lot of like chemicals that needs to balance the ingredients. I'm not so fan of that.
Yeah, we will have some that is important, you know, for the whole balance, but compared to what else is out there, it's like, and the flavor is gonna be super. Flavor is important.
Yeah. You know, I could even feel the flavor of acai in my mouth right now. That is something interesting.
3.0, we're upgrading already.
Yeah, it's sensorial marketing.
All about the senses.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking for us to do? Like, we need to bring the brand awareness because we don't have the product here yet, but we can start working on this.
Yeah, I think that we are already doing.
Yeah.
Listeners, listen up.
Yes, the website's gonna be ready soon.
Yeah. In a couple weeks, we have the website ready. As soon as I fly back to Brazil, we were starting working on that, and I think that making people just like thought of how it will taste it in their mouths, or how the texture.
The sounds.
The sounds, yeah, and the feeling of holding a bottle, like, wow.
Energy coming from the source.
Yeah, it's like you having full natural connection.
Yeah, it's about alignment. It's about, you know, body, mind, and soul. And with that, we have other projects as well, like the dance class, the exercise. It's a whole movement about past, present, and future. We are bringing all together that thing of you said about timeless feeling of well-being. Yes, that more people are joining this culture and mentality now, and it's a great place to be. And I'm just so happy that we are working together.
I'm more than glad, happy, and actually I can say that like I'm fulfilled because I got so humbled to be invited to be here. It's actually my first podcast appearance in English, full in English.
Oh, wow, that's great. I
did a lot of podcasts in Brazil, but also all of them in Portuguese, and that's the first one in English.
And you say yes to one opportunity, and that opens doors for many others.
Yeah.
Look what happened. You met the studio owner here, and this is not the first time that happened, because I brought other people here that from here they start doing other things. So take the time to, you know, sell your services here for people that might be watching and they want to. Yeah.
Well, you know what I can do. If you don't know what I can do, please reach me out on LinkedIn, Victor Mignoni. I have my profile there.
We're going to put in the description here.
Yeah. And also on Instagram. Basically, I help brands, not only like huge brands, but mostly small businesses to establish their presence online. So if you are like a roofer or you are a cleaning service and you need to be with your calendar full, I can help you with that. But also, if you have like a private label agreement with someone who's providing you like supplements, and you need to sell it full online on your e-commerce, we can help you with that as well. So basically, what I like to say, I'm your business partner, where you take the headache off of selling and marketing, and I'll be like your CMO as a service, like your chief marketing officer as a service.
Great. So, see, I hope you'll get some business from here.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that, because I know if there's something right to be done, the world will show that to me.
Yes, and we are here together, and I hope I hire you full time one day.
Hopefully. Well, who knows? Maybe in the future I'll be living here in New Jersey. We do not know what the future holds for us.
Yes, but we do have the plans to hitting the Brazilian markets as well, because it's time. But I think that this is such a great opportunity, and thank you so much for coming here, talking about your transformation. And let's talk a little bit. People must be curious how we connected and everything.
Actually,
I want to hear the story from your perspective, because I don't know where I am and what I'm doing.
Actually, what happened was I recall that May from Team GaryVee hit me up on Slack. That we had at Slack for the translation team. She hit me up on Slack because we do not have like a specific jobs, but I was like the community manager, and since I was the most senior guy in the team, they put me in charge like to manage all of the other participants. So May asked me, "Oh, there's a Juliana trying to be part of." Oh my
God!
She can be an extra hand for the team,
and then everything is history. But it really helped me, because from that experience, which was like short-lived, I was able to get a contractor work as in a Google project.
Oh, that's so good.
And that was before the cleaning company that I started. But because I wasn't happy, you know, there's something about being able to bring people together and being part of a culture that they're just happy to work on that place. Even though if it's not good, they're just happy to be there. And I started looking around and I said, first of all, I'm not working at Google. You know, I was working as a contractor, but even the contractors were like feeling so good and so special for work. You know? I said, I don't want to work my whole life here just because I'm working as a contractor for Google. So I say, this is not for me. I'm like a kind of a free spirit. So I kind of like abandoned that too. And I started the house cleaning, because my friends say, why don't you do the house cleaning? And the first contact that I had with Gary, I was watching one of his talks, and he had the phone text me the phone number, and I did, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do in Brazilian Portuguese or English, but I knew I want to be on YouTube or do something. You know, it was like, I want to help people, but I want to help myself first.
Sometimes we need to be egotistical.
Yeah, because you can help others if you don't know how to help yourself. And it's been a journey, a long process. But 1 week I talked to him, and then I had this idea of translating things and putting, you know, making that Instagram that I still have it to this day. Yeah. And how about that girl that used to work on the team as well? There was a girl. Camilla. Yeah, what's she doing now?
On the team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's the OG in the team. Yeah.
Excellent.
Most of the people who were in the team wasn't there because of money or anything else. Were because of their personal interest and mission towards Gary message.
It's incredible, really, how I remember the first time I talked about, and then I heard about, you know, he had a mission, a message, and I had gone through a kind of the first phase of a transformation and seeing things in life that it was all about the message and the purpose and everything, and then kind of clicked with me later on. And then when I started the podcast here, I said, son of a gun, this is exactly what it is. A block away from here, and I'm doing this podcast in Brazilian Portuguese, which is now evolved, but we still have the project. I think that in the future we're going to bring it back, but it was like the first, you know, stepstone to start, and it kind of like touch people's lives, right? I guess. So thank you, Gary, if you ever watch this.
Actually, there's some interesting things about that. We think that he even when he's not answering, he's not seeing, but actually he sees.
Oh. Yeah. Does he even have the time?
Yeah, but, I know that because when I spoke him the first time, he already knew me from like a lot of questions that I've sent him through Twitter when he was doing the Ask GaryVee show.
Oh my God.
And
3.0.
a lot of comments that I left in his Instagram. I recall that was he received Tony Robbins. In,
I did like a summit last week, a couple weeks ago. Amazing. You can do it online. I have the link. I can send it to you. Yeah. Amazing. He had me jumping there, saying I own you and all of that stuff. The guy's amazing. Oh, you need to do that, Victor.
Yeah, I need it.
I'll send you the link.
Sometimes I just sit down in my living room and start to watch his movie from Netflix.
It's a 3-day summit. It's like an online webinar kind of thing. You're going to be amazed. It brings your energy. After that, I had people in my street. We always play outside with the kids and stuff. I was jumping, and they were all jumping with me.
Yo, that's so good.
You know how I felt? And it was like 5 moms jumping with me. And I was like, wow, imagine like having a bunch of people jumping because you're jumping. It's amazing. But I was happy even with 5.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So I recall that actually Tony Robbins was launching his last book in a Ask GaryVee show. And then it was live. Was like lunchtime in Brazil, 2 hours ahead of here in the United States. So I left a comment on YouTube, and Gary did like a not a survey, but like a giveaway, and my comment was one of those selected.
Oh.
I don't even recall what I comment there, but was one of the selected. And a few days later, arrived at my home a book signed from Tony Robbins.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. You know, these guys are so special and important because like you say, I always trying to connect everything, even like working out, even if this bottle is here. And but like you say, when you are down and you hear somebody from, you know, saying, come on, let's go, don't give up.
Yeah.
These are the guys. They are doing this for people that are trying to, you know, keep growing, keep moving.
Yeah.
And when you hear that, you know, you see a lot of comments on Gary stuff saying like, oh, when I see you, I want to do things. I want to keep going. It's like the motivational guys. I think that.
And there's a thing that I take as part of me for the future. I recall that I had a friend that got married in 2022. And he asked me to be one of his best men. And when I was invited, doesn't even waiting to be invited. He's an old friend, but I know that he has a lot of other friends that might be in his list. But when he invited me, he said something that really sank on me, that you were my only friend who actually never said to me to give up. You always believed in everything. So I want to start a new company. You say, go ahead. Keep aware of things that might be not that good, but go ahead. I'm cheering for you. I can help you with whatever you need. Or if I decided to stay in my father's company, you say, go ahead, be happy. And when he said that, I just understood that the world, there's a lot of people who actually do not want to see us winning. So I decided to be that kind of person who spreads positivity.
Yeah.
Because we can choose it.
Yeah. And also, when somebody's saying, don't do this, you're not going to be able to do it, it's because they can't.
They can't.
They're putting their own insecurities on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something that, so when you told me about your desire to do that, I need to open this as a mom, a woman immigrant, starting the company with Açaí. And I said, well, that's something that's powerful. And if there's connect with your soul, why not? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm full to help you.
Full on.
Yeah.
And
I really believe in people, especially when they speak with their soul, you know. being in business for so long as I've been, I have like 15 years in businesses. I saw a lot of people who actually just want to do business to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Be clear. But do not try to dissuade me and say that, like, oh, that is my purpose in life. No.
Yeah.
Be clear.
Be honest. Be truthful. Be truthful. My truth is that I was not planning on doing this Açaí thing at all. You know, I was just like, but once you open a podcast, it opens, like you said, you know, we were talking about today, we are like into Astros, Cosmos stuff about the portal that started today with the alignment for,
the planets.
The planets aligning. And it's like, aren't we so lucky to be living in this time? I feel so grateful. And a podcast is opening a channel for people to heal, to tell their stories.
For sure.
And once you do that, you get a lot of back. You get back in return. And that's when it came to me, this vision of, you know, leading this company as an immigrant mom, living in the U.S. with a Brazilian product that is like connected with our heritage. And so I think that there's something to, it's not about me, it's like about what I'm bringing to everybody, not just Brazilians.
The value that you actually building from a product that goes beyond you.
Yes. So when you're drinking that, you're not just drinking an energy drink or from Açaí nectar. You're drinking the whole heritage and the story, and it does touch people. So I'm excited about this, and it's actually hard for me because I had to transform myself and face fears of like being in front of the cameras and even fear of flying. But I'm not fearful anymore. We have to.
There's something that's interesting that I like to say every time. Like, have you ever thought that sometime between like maybe 100 years from now, someone might open a website and see us talking about that, and maybe this conversation could change something in that person's life?
Our kids, grandkids, and everybody, and and even right now, it might be somebody going through a burnout and see you.
Because our generation learned the classics from books. Why don't you, in the future, people will learn things through podcasts, through YouTube videos, through we're still human beings. We learn through experiences, not only our experiences, but the other person's experiences. And to tell a story, to share your voice, actually is the most powerful way for you to spread the word. Not only to have like, oh, I have some followers. No, it's not about that. It's actually to sometimes the most strong about the social media and things, that there's a lot of people who are actually watching you and are not following you.
And you never know who's watching.
You never know.
I had such a problem in the beginning with the Brazilian podcast because I met this guest and she said she had a great social media manager because she's, you know, she had a degree in publicity and marketing in Brazil. And then she was like, oh, I'm going to help you. I can believe it. I'm so happy to be. And then one day she started saying things that I wasn't agreeing, you know, and I'm kind of soft for like speaking my mind. And so one day she said, Juliana, I have 1,000 laugh because I remember that day. I have 1,000 followers. You're gonna have 1,000 followers coming today, and I was like, "Wow, this is really happening fast." I never believed in buying followers.
I don't think that's the good strategy, though. I know that like doing automations can work. But buying followers is not the best situation.
And then we had a fallout. It was like, no, I can't.
Actually, Instagram ads, and that myself I learned during the period I was with Gary. When you do like the organic social media content, you do in a way. But when you're trying to have your ads, you need to do ads. So record yourself, maybe doing a pitch or something like that, or maybe do a static ad from pictures, and do a specific offer for your audience. So follow me and you receive like 10% off. Like a lot of e-commerce do sign up for the VIP list, and you receive 10% off in the first purchase, something like that. So if you're selling to consumer, if you're a B2B, you can give them like specific content for helping them in demand. Or you could give, like, for example, in the Açaí, we could do a small ebook for people like how to integrate Açaí with your diet if you are an active person. So if you like to dance, how could you consume Açaí? If you like to do martial arts, how you could do. And then we have that kind of fulfillment of followers through the ads specifically coming from. So I know that here in US especially, you can start advertising for $1.
Yeah.
$1 a day. In Brazil, we cannot do for less than 6 reais. That it's $1. So, and yet 6 reais is cheaper. It's cheap in Brazil, but it's not cheaper than $1 for someone who's receiving $1.
That's right. And I think that I've played around with a little bit, even when I was like DJing in 2014, 2015. And with the cleaning company, I've played with, Google Ads and Facebook, Instagram. And I think what works best, that has better return, is definitely Facebook.
Yeah.
And especially for if you are like in the business industry. When I did the DJing, it was like one campaign. It was like crazy. That was scary. That was like 3,000.
Whoa.
I lost the password. I'm trying to recover that account.
You can't.
But it's just because it's the industry, right? Yeah. I was like putting out there for like likes and followers as a DJ. Even I was doing Brazil as well. So it was like spreading like fire, because it's easier for people to follow and like. Yeah, and I think I did something right in the campaign. I don't know exactly, but it's harder than, like a house cleaning company or like a business. But we'll see with the Açaí drink. We need to come up with some creative ideas. And I think that Facebook is a good return.
There's an interesting thing, that cultural thing. For example, in Brazil, Facebook is completely shit. I'm sorry if I cannot say
right
curse
now,
words.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, but Facebook in Brazil is completely shit.
What is Instagram and TikTok?
Instagram, TikTok. We do not use Snapchat anymore in Brazil. So Instagram and TikTok are taking place. Mostly Instagram, where is the most targeting audience, the best targeting audience. And now TikTok's rate is rising up very fast. So, but Facebook in Brazil mostly has like old people. Sometimes they do not even know how to type things. And they sign up for things and they completely forget. And we do a lot of WhatsApp in Brazil as well. And people just send like nonsense messages from campaigns in Facebook. You see the difference when the campaign is coming from Instagram and when it's coming from Facebook.
And a lot of scams and stuff on Facebook as well.
Yeah, a lot of scams.
A lot.
Yeah. People trying to steal your passwords, trying to invade your account to spend money. It's crazy.
Yeah. Do you think Facebook's going to end soon? Or what do you think?
No, I don't think that Facebook will go anywhere. Not soon, I think. Especially because Mark Zuckerberg has a talent to steal things and put in the right timing. He's a very keen guy for business. I think he's learning that U.S. is his leading market. I know Europe is not that powerful anymore, and he see Latin America and India and China and other development countries rising up.
Yeah, India, I see a big market there. Yeah. Huge. Who doesn't? But I think that they picked up a little bit with the shorts, the reels.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for that,
if it wasn't for that, they would get smashed for sure. And right now I know that they launching Edits, a software that is just like CapCut, but from Facebook, from Instagram actually. I'm not sure how it works, but I know that's paid. So just like CapCut, you pay a fee monthly to have access to all Pro tools. But, you know, I completely switched from Adobe Premiere to CapCut because CapCut's just easier.
Just as good.
And just as good.
Yeah, if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
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 Wow. Yeah, I think that Instagram, what happened to me was I say I need to get off social media a little bit. I'm not going to be on Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do Facebook. And then what do? I go to Instagram. And it was like going from one to the worst.
You change the hell level 1 to hell level 2.
Now we need the hell number 3.
the 7 circles of hell, and then
until we see heaven on earth. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. And what are the plans for your future now? You're gonna move to the U.S. We know that.
I hope.
Yes, you will. Let's pick that.
I'm working towards it to bring my talent to the U.S.
So you better hire Victor now while he's still living in Brazil because it's going to get expensive soon.
Actually, that's something interesting because the money arbitrage is something that's real.
Yeah.
If you are a small business, just like Juliana starting out, you can have access to world-class talent in Brazil, spending like 50% or sometimes even more. Because in Brazil, you have like $1, 6 reais. So for a person to make a good amount of money, it's like a minimum wage here in the U.S.
Yeah, I agree. But how from Brazil to Africa must be also the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys.
Yeah.
So you think that working with Gary helped to expand this working relations with Africa and
we in Brazil received a lot of immigrants from Angola back in the day. And I recall when I was in the college, I met a student from Angola, and he was like, dude, you cannot believe it, how blessed. Even with all the problems that we have in Brazil, how blessed we are.
And they look up to us as well. Like we are as the world gets more like global, I think doing business and moving things around is going to be easier. And people that see that have more opportunities to go further than, just staying in your own little fish tank.
And there's a thing that people sometimes ask me, what's the most relevant skill that I have learned for my career? And besides speaking English, I think that has this cultural interest, and not the cultural interest, as I said. Like, I like to travel, and when I like to travel, I like to understand how people live in the place where I'm visiting. So I do not try to do tourist things, because tourist things is built to take out money from tourists.
Yeah.
I like to see how people live, what they drive, how they move around.
Go loco.
Yeah, go loco. Completely.
Go loco.
So that way helped me understand how to sell things to those people. And that way I do the reverse engineer.
Interesting. Yeah, that's, I went to Egypt once.
Really?
Yeah.
I dream to go to Egypt.
Yeah, I went to Egypt. I went inside of the pyramids there. It was right before they had like that fallout. It was really bad, but it was like the last time that you could go in like kind of peace.
Yeah.
But we did some crazy stuff. That we were staying in Luxor in in a hotel, very fancy and everything.
Yeah.
And then we met some people that had stores there.
Yeah.
And the guys were like, do you guys want to see like local? And my friend said, yes, we want to go. And we were like, they're not going to do anything to us, right? They have a store here in the in the hotel. Man. But guess what? I don't regret it. I would never do it again.
Experience.
It was amazing. I don't regret it. It was amazing. But when we were in the car, we started going and drive, kind of Brazil, like the slums in Egypt.
Yeah,
and we got it inside of how to say the aisle there. And the guy, driving the car, and my friend and I, it's okay, right? Yeah, it's fine. And then, but it was like everybody started looking at us, like what? And then they went to show us around. They showed their house, and it was like, we could be kidnapped here again.
Human traffic is real.
Exactly. I'm going to ask my friend to send the pictures because she still have the pictures. But it was a nice experience. It was like a U.S. house in the ghetto. Yeah. But the guys, because they had the store in the whole...
He was
like a king and stuff. But it was so much fun. I would never do that again. I was like young and stupid. And I just felt like nothing's going to happen to me.
Young and wild and free.
Yeah. I'm still kind of that, just moving up there in years, but I'm still wild. But anyways, it was a nice experience because I got to see Egypt local.
Yeah, actually, I dream to go to Egypt, but everyone who ever go there say, do not go to Egypt without a local guide because it's real. You can have like serious problem, especially if you're going to negotiate with someone.
Yeah.
They are very, very...
Yeah, we went on this boat dinner trip and we saw the sunset. We were swimming in the Nile River and we did all of that stuff.
Have you seen any crocodile there?
No. I didn't even know there's crocodiles.
Yeah. In the Nile River?
Yeah, no.
The Nile crocodile is one of the biggest crocodiles in the world.
No, maybe the local guide took us to the right place.
Yeah.
But it was such a nice experience. Yeah, we were there for 2 weeks too. Very nice.
Yeah. Was hot?
It was pleasant. And we were drinking tea the whole time.
Good.
And it was a very nice experience. A lot of knowledge and even knowledge that... when I was DJing and a few years back, when I started DJing in Manhattan in New York, I was invited to go to the Met, the museum. Yeah. And they had some Egyptian stuff there, like the writings and the wall. It kind of refreshed my memory and I could understand a little bit, like it was like a different experience. But I think once you start seeing the world, like you say, you bring together and you make connections. Yeah, I'm still learning how to be a better salesperson. I don't think I had.
What I can say, sales is like a ability.
Yeah.
You just need to have repertory. So you need to show off often. So I recall the first time when I was in the store and I was shaking so bad that the client noticed and asked me if I was okay. And then I just told them, it's the first time I'm doing that. I'm very ashamed, not because I'm selling something, but because I'm not like extroverted person.
Shy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you have to understand your product and believe in your product, and then it's easier to sell when you understand and you love what you're selling. I think that's. But some people are just natural sellers; they can sell you anything.
As I say. In Brazil, that has a saying that guy can sell ice cream to a Eskimo. There's something like that.
If you were that person, please reach out. We're gonna be selling a lot of açaí together.
We need to sell açaí in the North Pole.
I think my thing is like I love connecting. I like connecting stuff and. Bringing things to life and making things happen. But I'm super excited. Thank you so much, Victor. Let's just wrap around this up with a message that you want to give to people. One more message. What would you say? A tip for 2025?
Yeah, let's paint the polar bears purple.
I love that. Let's paint the polar bear purple.
Yeah.
Açaí. Purple is the new energy, guys. Yeah. Purple is the new energy.
But besides the joking sentence, people just try to be yourself. Respect your being, your human being thing. I think that's it.
Your uniqueness, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Victor.
much for
It was a
the
pleasure.
invitation.
Maybe come here
so
next
much.
time and we have an second episode with you.
I'm planning to do US visits at least twice a year.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So let's see how it plays out for the second semester.
Yeah, and I'm going to Brazil soon, so maybe Espírito Santo is calling me. I've been saying that.
You need to go there because we have amazing beaches and the mountains are so gorgeous.
Okay, let's do it. And if you guys like the channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, tell us what you think, and like and subscribe and share, okay? Yeah. So we can spread the message of polar bears, purple polar bears.
Yeah.
Drinking açaí.
Let's paint the snow purple.
Yes. I like that. Thank you, guys. Thank you for spending time with us. Bye.